Okay, I've been selling in this demo since 2 days ago, and I just put sell limits up there all the way to like almost 3,000. I couldn't get the platform to let me see the top of the chart because it was going up so hard that MetaTrader was trying to find where it should plot, and it froze the screen. So my very first sell at the beginning of the week, I'm right to where I got in. Because this is when I turned on the platform and I saw this price way up here, and I said to myself, man, that's so high. And since it's a demo, I think I'm just going to sell in there for kicks. Now, this is a brand new broker platform. You got to turn on the rectangle, go to customize, and just find rectangles here and then put it in your list of things to do. So you got the rectangle here, we insert, and then of course it's going to come up with a default color. Not always pleasant, but look at this. So I sold right here. It was the first chance I could really sell, and right here you could be selling, right? Maybe not, maybe take profits right here. So I'll be up on the whole trade right now. I'm actually up on everything. I think I was down about, I don't know, $10 million on the way up there. Wasn't really paying attention because it was a demo, but anything above here I thought, well, it's got to be a sell, and turned on the classic candles, which I like. This reminds me of a little nostalgia. For the first time I bought a trading book, this is what the candles look like, and now you go on a screen and you've got the green candles up and red candles down, so you can tell who's in charge. But this, just the classic thing. And the problem with MetaTrader is a little bit of a problem here is that when you zoom in, wicks never get any thicker than this, so it's a real... And it becomes a bar chart. Once you get to a certain zoom out level, then you have a bar chart. And there's plenty of trades on the way up here, but look at this spike, Ola. And this is the first pullback in, if we close down here, we've been just shearing up. Boom, boom, boom. And we could totally engulf all the way back to here. So for the long-term target, it's always going to be the last known top. But if you look at the wick window, which is like the volatility from the close to the high and the close to or the open to the low, just open to close on these is a two-period moving average, kind of, because you open and you close. And so if you just had close only, you would just see the range and where it was at. You just see a dot and you would see where it's at. The fact that you have the open here gives you the ability to see the direction during that one period. But what I think's the point of candlesticks is the real to the shadow. So if your orders start here based on this real body to the wick, see the, boy, I'm so zoomed in. See, if you just had your order bank in like this, you're saying, well, I'm looking at this window, the body to the edge of the wick, and you carry that forward. That means that you're looking to buy in that window. As soon as you get this big window here, now you have to stretch your, now you have to take trades from this body to the edge of this wick. You didn't get a full fill. You didn't get all the way down into here, and here is the, just nick that area. This is for the limit entries. If you're going to get into buy stops, your buy stop is going to be very sharp and narrow, and it's going to have a scalp built in. So this is maybe riding on top here. And, classic risk is that you have a stop here because you got in and a stop there. Then you put a buy stop on this one too, you're adding, and you've got the buy limit in that the wick window of the last wick. You've got buy limits in this whole area, so you're really getting in this dual style entry. When you get to this is a slight pullback. It's slightly dark here. It's the only chance on that one day to buy. It's the only chance for people that sold to get the fuck out. This is why it goes up. Because this aha moment, this settling of price, this, go the other way, and we just keep running. Market's going to keep running. Now it's making history right now. This Bitcoin, but so is the S&P 500. The DAX is not doing that. It's still stuck in a range, but the DAX would follow, and all this stuff would follow because it would all come crushing in. Just like you see anybody that's ever seen a market move, anybody who's ever traded Forex on a 15-minute chart when the news comes out, when you look at the 2008 crash or whatever that crash was, there was a couple crashes. Some were slow, some were fast. It just looks like a normal market move. People only put emphasis on that because they bought some house they couldn't afford and they happen to be in on that side of the trade. Now, our exit here would just be the top of this for the scalp, and you might be getting out of everything right now because you're like, holy God, I can't believe, I didn't trade with a stop, almost blew up the account, almost had to sell my kids on eBay or something, or open up a porn ring or something, So a lot of things that you're like, wow, and it could keep going up, and what if it keeps going up? Now, see, I missed my exit here. Here's where the buyers are coming in, right on this wick. It's really hard to see the wicks on MT4. I guess that's why if you run the screen black and white, and you run it in like a computer mode, you're going to see the wick a little, it's going to jump out at you. But I do like the black and white stuff, very black and white. Like, so here's the 1 hour. If you had time to jump on these trades, your entries would have been up in here. Like, you've got the class back line here. You've got buy stops, right? Sell stops. You scalp to here. You got buy stops, and look at this thing go. These are super ripe for the pick in very small bodies. Very a nice scalp maybe for a sell here, but in the end, it's just, this thing is just going nuts. And it's been going nuts for. This is the first day that it may close back up. It's the end of the week. And the week has a huge tail on the top side of the weekly. Seen here, the buyers are coming in right now. It's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so Japan's opening up now. Take a look at the time here. So we just completed that, and this is the buy. The first kind of limit buy that you could put on, really. Look where you're at in this thing. It's an astounding move. Astounding. And if you were going to trade this from a mechanical sell, stop, cancel, replays, and keep on moving it up and maybe even increasing the size of that trailing order, you would have been, placing these sell stops with, hopefully you have a scalp, and it just keeps riding up here, and then finally this whole vacuum that's been forming underneath here. This is totally outlandish price. I mean, who's buying it here? I mean, if I just converted my Bitcoins, I guess this is not percentage-wise as dramatic a move as when you're trading. Another thing, this is not a, stock charts can be pip adjusted. This isn't one of those, so this is like if, the percentage from going from 2,600 to 2,300 isn't like going from when Bitcoin was $50 and it spiked up to 100, right? I mean, you'd be like, wow, I'm going to get down, I'm just going to cash out and think about this. But, I understand you, but you're still not digging it that, hey, you're like totally getting trapped on the top side of this, so to speak. If you go to the, let's go back to the, now look at the daily. First down day. Look at the tail on that. The weekly is still screaming up, and there's no signal. And I had sell limits. I don't know if I would have blown up the account, but I put sell limits all the way up into unbelievable. Now, if I just hold this until we get back to reality, which is about when this whole psychosis started, it was right here at 1250. Now that's a good chunk. If I sold at 26, I held at 1250. God knows where I'd be in this account. The prudent thing to do is, if you don't have any money, is to get out of everything that you sold. And see, now I'm underwater on one of these tickets. The swap changed too. I don't know how they do swaps on Bitcoin. What's it? We shouldn't be on. I have to stretch these out to turn off auto arrange, and number's too big to fit in. So my worst trade, I'm down $58,000. Now, if I was on pure winners, I could just close out all profits. And here I don't have a button for that, so unfortunately you'd have to get them out of them manually. I could start peeling off these big winners, and then I could put sell limits above. That would be the prudent thing to do. But see, this is the problem. Now that you're in, and it didn't take much to get in. In fact, those were all I did was go like this, right mouse click and put sell limits in here like a bozo. I just literally did this because I don't have scripts running here. There's no stops, no take profits. I could bet I could get double this account if we ever came back down to, even 1,800, See, now there's something wrong with this Bitcoin. I can't chart it. Every time I start monkeying with the scale. So yeah, Bitcoin, quite profound. Look at this beautiful 4-hour spinning top. Right. Is that what that is? Name that candle. Yeah, unfortunately, you have to run another indicator on top here to fatten up the wicks. It's very, it doesn't look pretty like this. Let's delete all objects. I don't think I have it. So just backspace should take your objects off. See, now the buyers came in right at the edge of that, and it's just so happens to be, if you bracket this body, see how important that small body is? That's a doji. That is the turnaround. So the complete trader would have been to pull the trigger. I think it was up $9 million for a second there. If you had a button, it'd take all profits right now. Boom. Then you could just come back and put sell limits up in the painfully obvious place is to put your first sell limit. This is the targets for the bulls right now. Is to come back to the bottom of that body, which is close, and a little bit more conservative exit is to start getting out of your buys that you bought right here at the beginning of that wick, or just anyway up into that. So you have these small body entries, which just means low volatility, and kind of regardless of direction. Here you wouldn't have got filled if you put a sell stop below that. You got to realize that if you're long and you got your protection here, money management, your money management kicks in finally after they're all higher. On the 4-hour, there's not one lower low. Just not really. And then you're filled here. You could scalp this today. You could have waited and just lightly sold up. And really, it's about how big you're in, because I just sold here, just blindly throwing orders in, nothing special. Here, I really thought, well, I'm on a sell heavy to here, right? Because that's just ridiculous. I mean, you're up, and it is just amazing. On the monthly, it's just an unbelievable move. You don't see this. Forex does this all the time, but you don't see something that's never been traded in the history of mankind. This is encrypted. Look at this from here to here. Since this is a linear, it's not a logarithmic stock chart where you adjust for, if you take this and double it, you're like past double. You're so outlandish on here. Now, I suspect we're coming into a trading range where if you're just trying to get in and out of your Bitcoin wallet without freaking out, we're coming in next week it's going to be choppy. There's no way we're going to keep up this parabolic move. I just can't see it. I don't know what's wrong with this platform. I don't know if it's Bitcoin. I haven't done any other instrument but this, and it's just totally, I can't manipulate the chart. Let's see. Yeah, okay. You just got to keep, when you fix the scale on this, it's just freaking it out. But here's the engulf. So you had to buy this wick to get the best price. The spread is like insane on here too. I think they gave me $50 million account because it's just, there's no limit. Right there, the wick. The spread is, I turned the spread on so you should be able to see it. To put show ask in the properties. I made it black. So here's the spread. And the spread gets pretty wide, you know. The spread will disappear. You won't be able to see the spread here if you keep on zooming out enough. You can just barely see it. It's almost the size of a body of one of these 1 hour candles. It's quite a big spread. And look at that move. My God. I mean, for this kind of move, we shouldn't really be seeing the spread here. 5-minute spread looks brutal. I'm sure that's broker dependent. Can't see it there. So look at this inverted hammer on the daily. We just finished. This broker rolled over. I'm not sure when. But yeah, how about that? How about that Bitcoin? It's insane.